What's up, guys? Alright. Sorry. Get this thing. Whew, man. Alright. Couple minutes here. Wait for everybody to get on. It's a little bit early. Welcome. It's Wednesday, I think. April 22nd, we just launched True Wealth Formula. Oh, God. Sorry. Let me fix this F-book freaking thing. It's going to be so awesome. Is that better? Nope. There you go. It's not backwards. Okay, we just launched this book yesterday. And every day at 4 p.m., I'm going live doing an update. I appreciate you guys. If you haven't got your copy yet, you want to go to Amazon.com and order it on Amazon. That's the only place you can get it. We're not selling it directly. We're not doing drop shipping. We're not packing and stuff in boxes ourselves here. Basically, it's through Amazon. And so you want to get that on there. And then, as I've been saying every single day, you want to go to truewealthformula.com to our site where you can register and basically get on. I don't know if that's better or worse. Get on a mailing list so we can get you updates and stuff, and then give you a free report and some free videos. Corona freaking crisis. Corona Clusterfest survival videos that I did are on there. So you can get those and more information. And then most importantly on this campaign, keensransom.org. You might have seen the post that we did. Oh my God. So anyway, I sent an email out. Hopefully you got it. Basically, we have till the end of this week, guys. What are you going to do? You know, I know many of you have already ordered, and that's pretty awesome. I've been talking about this book. If there was ever a time right now, this is the worst time in the world you could ever order a book, basically, right now. I mean, not order the book. You want to order the book right now. It's the best time to order. It's the worst time to try to launch a book. I mean, like, come on, give me a break, man. Freaking Corona clusterfest, crazy ass thing going on. You guys have heard me talk about it. But the flip side to that is that there's no better time ever that you could order it. Okay, and get this in your hands. This is literally a survival guide. True Wealth Formula: How to Master Money, Live Free, and Build a Legacy. It's everything. It documents my entire process, systems, thinking methodology. I'll talk about it more in a bit. So, basically, what we're doing, and good job. I know many of you have already ordered. You're freaking amazing. You're insane. We're gonna give some updates here, and I'm gonna talk a little bit. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about yet. It's just been one thing after another. But basically, hopefully you got the email. We posted it on socials on Twitter and Facebook. Been doing videos. Put a short video announcement out earlier today. Put those up on YouTube as well so they can be shared. But the latest one is basically, I'm trying to go bankrupt by the end of the week, guys. Right? So how am I going to do that? Right? So I'm just asking right now. I mean, are you going to make this happen or not? Right? One, you need to order on Amazon. And if you are one of those cheap, I should say it, because if you know me, I don't do real well with filtering stuff. So if you're one of those cheap bastards that all you did was buy a Kindle ebook, you need to pony up another $11.95 and get the freaking paperback. All right? But you should definitely get the ebook because you get the Kindle right away and you can start reading it and you can post reviews. We need reviews. Thank you to all of you that have done reviews. You're amazing. You're freaking phenomenal. Make sure you get the paperback as well. Amazon.com. But that's not it. That's not all of it. Do you have a mailing list? Do you have a social media group? Do you have something? Okay. Make sure you do register on truewealthformula.com because we want to get you the other stuff. We have no data from Amazon. Nothing. They don't give us anything. In fact, right now, the freaking data and the stats that we're getting, I have a funny story about that to tell you in a second, is just FUBARD. Okay. It's all over the place. So basically, we don't have any data. We don't know if you bought it or who bought it or whatever. So you need to go to truewealthformula.com. And you need to register. That's the second thing. Just name an email, right? Don't give me some bullcrap email. Give me something that, some kind of decent email, all right? So you can stay in the loop and you can get the stuff. And then if you want to get in our implementation program, you can do that. And then the third step, you don't have to do anything. This is what I'm doing. I'm basically matching dollar for dollar every single dollar spent on this campaign through the end of the week at Amazon.com, because it's the only data that we can get. We just have to basically look and see what the sales are. And right now, and this is the part I got to tell you in a second, but what I'm doing is I'm matching it, okay? Dollar for dollar. We don't get that. We don't get that money. So if you spend $11.95 on a book, I don't get $11.95. Amazon takes their cut, the printing cost, we get less than 50%. I don't even know what it is, okay? But what I'm doing I'm taking money, basically, okay, and I'm matching it. And this is an open-ended offer and an open-ended commitment till the end of this week. And so I want to talk about that a little bit. So the deal is this. Do you want, what am I doing with it? KingsRansom.org. We're basically going to give it to, there's a campaign going on right now to help victims of sex trafficking. So, so what's going on here? So I'm taking my money, okay, and I'm matching what you're spending on a book, or if you're cheap and you just want to do the 99-cent ebook, then you can do that. But that 99 cents ain't going to do a whole lot, right? That's not going to help too many victims of sex trafficking. At least it gets a book in your hands. That's a good thing, but it's not gonna go very far, and it's not gonna help bankrupt me by the end of this week. Okay, so I'm gonna be super bummed. Like if you guys don't, and many of you have. So if you already have, then awesome. But if you're not putting out right now, if you're holding back, if you're being shy or whatever, and you're come up with reasons, sometimes you just gotta get crazy. Sometimes you gotta do something crazy. Sometimes you gotta just say freaking F it, man. You gotta basically, there's a place in life to follow rules and follow structure and to think and to be very, whatever. And then there's another time, okay? There's seasons. You understand that? There's a time and place for everything. There's a time for love and a time for hate, a time for peace and a time for war, a time to give and a time to take, okay? You have to understand that when these seasons come and go, you can't be everything all the time. You have to sometimes be something sometime and something else on the other time. And if you have a framework for how you live life and how you manage money and how you do life, which is what this book is all about, if you have that framework, that gives you that system that gives you that freedom and that flexibility, okay? So, KingsRansom.org, they're running a campaign right now. I want to give a lot of money. But it's till the end of this week. I can only give as many books as you buy. So hopefully you've seen the other videos that we've done on this. If gifts, right? Birthday gifts. Think about all the birthdays you got to do this year, right? This book is a survival manual for what's going on in the world today. Okay, hands down. Okay, and I'll talk about it a little bit more. But financial, living, everything. Okay, so. If you order extra copies, you can use them for your business. You can use it to promote your business. You can attach your business card. You can do stuff. You can use this for prospecting. You can do this. You could get this to business associates, clients, gifts for clients, right? It could be a Christmas gifts, whatever, friends, family. But the more, and getting the word out to other people. Come on, you probably know some people. Maybe you don't have a big list, right? But you might know somebody who does, right? There's some people out there. Come on, bankrupt me, please. Freaking bankrupt my ass, okay? Let's do this. We got to the end of the week. It's gonna go to a good cause, right? It'll be this is gonna be the most legit opportunity in your life to spend somebody else's money. There's a lot of people out there right now, they wanna basically spend other people's money. Now that might be you, it might not be you, it might be people you know, okay? There's a lot of people that like to spend other people's money. This is your chance of a lifetime to spend somebody else's money, to try your best, okay, to bankrupt a multimillionaire, okay? To try your best to see if this system's full of shit or not, full FOS or not, okay? If you can't handle my language, then I'm sorry. I apologize for that. You can bleep it out in your ears. You can put a little ear thing in your ear and it'll bleep out my language. Okay? This is your chance, okay, to basically, and to do it and to help yourself, right? and to help others and to make yourself look amazing by having an awesome gift to give people during a freaking financial corona crisis, chaos, mayhem, freaking crazy corona, okay? And the whole time you're doing it, you're doing it for good cause. What better deal is it? How was a better deal than that? You know, we could have spent $1 million on advertising this. We haven't spent one dime. Well, we have some advertising that we do, but we're not advertising this book. I don't think so. I have to ask you. I hope I'm not speaking wrong. But if we are, it's like a couple dollars, okay? We could have spent $1 million on advertising this book. We're not doing any advertising. You want to know why? I don't want to spend $1 million on advertising this book. I want to go bankrupt, basically giving to King's Ransom, okay? And helping these helping victims of sex trafficking, okay? And they have other campaigns for people that have been hit by coronavirus and stuff like that. That's what I want to do, right? We don't have any fancy sales funnels or marketing programs or all this glitz and glamour and all this kind of stuff. We don't have that. We didn't do that, okay? We're keeping this thing simple. We're selling it on Amazon, right? This book took me 4 years to write. It's over 2 decades of my life, right? Okay. Some of you have already bought. You're amazing. Freaking awesome people. But I need you to do your part, man. I need you guys to spread the word. I need you guys to get crazy. I need you guys to get freaking nutso. I need you to pull open your iMessage chat and your phone chat and just blast every single person that's in there. I need you to open your address book and send out emails. I need you to get on your social medias and forward this stuff that we're putting out there. Right? I need you to get on Amazon and get your order in and get your extra orders in. And if they put a limit on how many you ordered, then go back later today or tomorrow and do the rest. Right? I need you to get on Amazon and do your post your reviews because we need the reviews. Right? Because people read that stuff and they think it's all FOS. You know, and many of you have been using this system for years, and you know that it's not 100% FOS. There's no such thing as everything in life has some FOS factor. Okay, so. All right, so I got to tell you this story. So here's the thing right now about this, and then I'll try to talk about the book a little bit. So I'm doing this crazy campaign, right? We're putting this messaging out everywhere. You guys should share these videos too. I'm putting this messaging out all over the place. And am I on the right freaking page? God, I hope this video is going to the right place. Somebody tell me, please. Somebody in my office. I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. Okay. I'm doing this campaign, this crazy campaign. It's totally open-ended. I have no idea. I don't know if I'm going to be on the hook for thousands of dollars. I don't know if I'm going to be on the hook for $100,000 at the end of this week. I don't know if I'm going to be on the hook for a freaking $1 million at the end of this week. And when we pull the stats on for Amazon right now, we're not getting accurate stats, okay? Like we're seeing the ebooks, but I can't even tell you. I don't even know how many books have been ordered, okay? Unless you tell me, then I know. I got one guy here. I got a story I'm going to tell you about a little bit. Yesterday, I want to say thank you to you guys because you guys helped this book hit a bestseller in a category that I was really like. It was very surreal. We actually bested. We beat some heavy hitters, man, yesterday. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Basically beat Richest Man of Babylon, which is a classic that's been around forever. Really blew me away. And it might still be there. I don't know. I have no idea. And I got to tell you this funny story. Yesterday, when I first logged in, and so it's #1 bestseller in wealth management right now and several other subcategories. I logged in yesterday. I thought Amazon was just jacking me. Because I was looking at the stats. Of course, Amazon knows who's logging in, who's hitting it. I thought they were just effing with me, man. I thought they were just like basically giving me my little dopamine hit. Like, hey, you're a bestseller, you know? Like messing with their stuff. And I all day long, I was like, that's a nice little ego thing. And we've been so busy just, trying to do the best we can with this. And then other people started screenshotting and sending me. I was like, oh, wow, I guess that's real. I guess other people are seeing it too. It must be real or something. I don't know. But anyway, I'm super thankful for you guys already. This is a big deal. It's awesome. This was a gnarly project. This thing was hard for me. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. And I rewrote the thing over and over and over again, and just you can read the dedications in the beginning. I would, a lot of times people skip over that. You should read the testimonials too. Big shout out to Brad Harmsworth. He's actually the first testimonial mentioned in here, and several other really cool people and clients. But Brad, I was in a big transition state. I won't tell that story right now. Too emotional, but I was in a big transitional state in my life about 6 years ago or so. And if that didn't happen, this book wouldn't be what it is today. And it led to an evolution in TWF that has been unbelievable. But it was very difficult, very painful. And Brad, he was just awesome. He was like, dude, this you have to keep going with this thing, man. This freaking message changed my life. It changed my whole world, my whole thinking. I can't even look at the world the same anymore. I don't process information. There's not a single thing in my life. He's like, you hacked and reprogrammed my brain. Like you have to keep doing this thing, And at the time I was like, I don't know. So anyway, so Brad, hopefully you see this video, and appreciate you, brother. Anyway, you want to make sure and read the dedications in here. Definitely the dedications, but you want to read the disclosures. So I rewrote this thing because actually to write a book on financial and investing and anything like that it's not easy. Partly because the data and the information just becomes obsolete so fast, and the amount, So, and then trying to bridge that gap between somebody who doesn't, the gap, not make it too complicated, and so it was a hell of a project. So anyway. I have no idea. I could already be bankrupt for all I know. I have no idea. This is going to be a cash donation, by the way. There's some other things that we're doing as well, but this is going to be a cash donation in the worst financial event in 100 years, hands down. Okay, hands down. Okay, and I've been telling you guys that for months. Right, this event that's going on right now, and as I said in the other videos. Whatever the reason is, everything, the bottom line is, it is what it is. You and I, unfortunately, in life, we don't get to pick or control the chaos and the stuff that goes on out there. We don't get to be right, figure out all the information and all the answers. What is coronavirus? How did it start? Is it real or is it not real? Why is it killing some people and not others? Should our government have locked things down or shouldn't? What kind of businesses should be essential versus non-essential? That's a nice new word to classify people, right? Living, breathing, male, female, in his image, created them, okay? Creations of the living God, of the creator, of the universe, right? Okay, that universal intelligence in his image, to classify them as non-essential, right? Come on now. I get it. I understand it. I get that there's got to be that, but some people are taking it, a little far, right? So you're going on and on and on, trying to figure it out, right? Is the market crash? Is it going to go back up? What's it going to do? Are stocks overvalued or undervalued? What's going to happen in the real estate market? Boy, is commercial real estate going to get hit because how many businesses had to shut down? How many businesses had to shut down and now or do remote work? And a lot of big companies are saying, we're all working from home and we're jamming. Productivity's still rolling, man. Boy, and they're looking at that item in the freaking P&L. In the income statement, all that overhead in commercial space and commercial lease, and they're going, do we need this? Do we really need this? Do we need an adult daycare center for everybody to go work together every day, and all the office politics and all the HR problems and all the stuff that goes on? So what we're in the middle of right now, we are in the middle of a mega event, a mega cycle event. I talk about mega trends in this book. We're in the middle of that right now, and at a minimum, it is a 100-year mega cycle event, and it's going to transform It is the next major stage in the evolution of our global economy, of our world system. And you and I have two choices. We don't get to pick. We don't get to sit there. We can do all things all day long. All day long. We can sit there and we can say, I know I'm going to step on some toes here. But we can sit there all day long and we can sing mantras and do some hymns and do some boogie dancing. You know, we can do all kinds of things, but you and I, there ain't nothing you could have done or can do or me, right, that would have had any impact on this thing that came out of China, okay, and spread around the world, right? Nothing you could have done. Ain't nothing you can do about what's going on in the stock market. Your ideas about the market doesn't care. It doesn't freaking care. It could care less, right? I don't care what market you talk about, okay? It doesn't matter. It doesn't care. That market is mass psychology. The fundamentals? Are you kidding me? Right? Market's been going up. Why? Because of all government funny money going in? You know? So you have two choices in life, right? We can sit there and we can get all jacked up around about trying to figure out what happened, why it happened, who's to blame, this is terrible, blah, 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 blah. We can be pissed off and we can talk and we can do that, and that's okay. There's a place for that. I do a lot of it. But at the end of the day, at the end of the freaking day, the only thing that matters is what is your system? How are you, is your mind, your heart, your spirit, your balance sheet, your life, is it fragile or anti-fragile? Is your worldview and how you function and how you operate and how you manage business and how you make decisions and how you manage money and how you make decisions, is it based on being right, having all the data, having all the information? You can't ever get all the data. You can't ever get all the information. There's too much in our society. 100 years ago, you could get information, you could get data. Life was simple enough. There were some truisms and some stuff. Now it's just clusterfest. Freaking data information overload, and you can't verify any of it. And all your experts can't keep a story straight. Every time they get on TV, they're telling you a different story. So if you want a book that will teach you how to deal with that chaos and how to deal with this world system that we're in right now, and specifically the state of the world and where it's in and the progression and where it's going, that's what this system is. So we're flying blind on this side. I got this crazy offer, right? Go to Amazon, register on the site, right? Get as many books as you can, give them out, friends, family, clients, use it for your business, use it to promote your business. Right? Get out emails, spread the word, right? Register at kingsransom. Number 2. Register at truewealthformula.com. So you get the other stuff, and make me give a lot of money to King's Ransom to help victims of sex trafficking. Okay? I want to go bankrupt this week, guys, but I can't do it without your help. I need your help. There is no way I can do this alone, right? And I don't know of a better thing. So I want to tell you a story, right? I'm going to tell you a story and then I'll talk more about the book. So right now, Amazon, their stats suck. They're not telling us anything. We know, like, I'm being told, like this is just a little bit of insight here. Like, we're being told that we've sold like some amount of ebooks, okay? Which I don't know how, this was a little bit ago. Oh, 626 ebooks and 16 paperbacks. Now, I know that's not right, because I got a message from one of our monthly group coaching clients from John Greenlaw. Big shout out. As far as I know right now, this dude, by the way, I don't know, he just had to transition out of a long-term job, because that industry, he's Canadian, and that industry it's done. okay? He has a family with little kids, and he's learning a new skill. He's learning development and programming. He's having to learn a new skill. So as far as I know, this dude, unless he's got some kind of a money stack somewhere, you know, this dude don't got no big ass, he ain't no big business person or anything like that. That dude, he freaking ordered 168 books. 168, you know? And he just told me, I was just chatting with him, he said, hey, he goes, this is insane. He goes, I get to, he goes, I can't believe how many wins there are in this deal. You know, one, we've been looking and praying and trying to figure out a more, you know, efficient, strategic way to give and help. And so this is a great way. He goes, he goes, my brain is breaking right now. I'm gonna be able to make you give money to victims of sex trafficking through KRF. I get the books, I get to hand them out, or I can even sell them. I can resell the books if I want, and recover the money, and then take that and give, which means there could be like a double give. You guys just got to get a little bit creative. Think outside the box, you know? So my challenge to you big business people, you big freaking tough ass, you know, people with big lists, and all you MFers that get on social media all the time and talk about just a bunch of stuff with all your videos and all your advertising and all your stuff, how you're just an amazing marketer, right? And you're rich and you got all this and you got all that. Where's your freaking skin in the game? That's my challenge to you. Where's your skin in the game? Come on, I want to go bankrupt. I'm putting it out there right now. You know, I'm putting it out there right now. Help me go bankrupt this week. Let's do or die. You know, let's make it happen. Come on, man. You got more in you, don't you? Don't you got more in you? You can do better. Come on. Okay. You know, if I'm pissing you off, it's a good thing. You know, you're either gonna love me or hate me. And that's the way I prefer it. Okay. So I can't promise I won't rant some more. But hopefully John Greenlaw, right? My humble Canadian Pearl Emerald dude friend who's in our monthly group coaching, right, which is a small group of coaching members that we do, and it's very, very small. We don't let anybody in it, and I chat with these people, and these guys are amazing. And John, he I don't even know how long he's been doing TWF. He just signed up a few months ago, and dude bought 168 books. You know, dude's gonna give out these books for gifts or whatever, or he might sell them. You know, dude's gonna make me give. He's gonna make me give money, and then he's gonna go sell the books or give them out or do whatever he's gonna do and freaking double. He's gonna do a double. You know, so get to Amazon, 2lformula.com. Make me go bankrupt, please, for a good cause. You just can't do better. Okay, so the book. Yesterday I was talking about we live our whole life, and what time is it? We live our whole life and we're chasing this stuff, right? And we never step back, we never actually ask ourselves, we don't actually define it for ourselves. So basically we're operating our whole world off of a program that's been embedded in us since we were born, okay? And it's reinforced every single day of our lives. But the reason why that program works so well is because it's a reinforcement of what's already part of our human nature. Okay, so for tens of thousands of years or however long, if you think it's been 6,000 years, or you know other people think it's been like 100,000 years, whatever it is, I don't really care. I know it hasn't been 1 year or 2 years or 50 years or 100. I know it's thousands. It don't matter to me if you think the world's only been around for 6,000 or 7,000 years, and some other person thinks it's been around for 100, you know, for 4.5 billion and 200 and some thousand years ago, we basically made our final transition from the original guppy state to the monkey to what we are today. I don't care. It don't matter to me, because ain't none of y'all can prove any of that shit. Nobody. And nobody can prove it. And it doesn't affect that I know who I am and who my creator is. It don't matter. But here's the one thing I do know, and this is a fact and this is a reality, is that our brains and that underlying human psychology and that human behavior, that's been there for thousands of years. It's been reinforced through patterns that happen over time, over and over and over again. And so the programming that we have, that we go through every single day of our lives, that's telling us, and I tell you this all the time, that you, me, we've been programmed to be debt slaves. So that programming our entire life, every infomercial, every commercial, every advertisement, every email you get, everything you get, the words that your friends and family speak to you, the stuff that you hear, it may not even be the words they say. It's what you actually hear or what you remember. That programming is there and it's reinforcing a very simple message at its very, very core. There's several layers to this, but at its absolute very, very core, the message that it's reinforcing is you're not good enough. I don't know how to put it any simpler than that. Right? So here we are, we go through this whole life and we're, quote, pursuing this path of, quote, wealth, right? And we never step back and we never ask ourselves, hey, what is this thing that we call success, money, wealth, right? How do we define it? So this book, and this is why it's called True Wealth Formula. And you can listen to the other videos, get more info on my background, my story. I grew up on the streets in Hawaii. Started my first business at 8 years old. Been in business since I was 18. Ran a multi-million-dollar company as CEO. Blah blah blah. So for me, I was like, okay, if we're gonna talk about wealth, then why don't we identify what is true wealth? Can there be a difference between the idea of wealth and what it really is? And I have this saying that I've said for years. Time is truth. Time is truth. You think you know somebody, you don't know them. You know them through time. Because in time, you get to know and experience them through different circumstances and situations. So through time, you get more truth. So if we want to identify a system and a methodology of living our life and of creating wealth, multi-generational wealth, we have to step back out of just this current crazy stuff that's going on, out of every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's posting freaking stuff online. And we have to step back, okay? I'm not saying that there aren't some smart Tom, Dick, and Harrys out there, but if that's what you do, you're just going to live a life of confusion and dependency. You're going to continue to be dependent on whatever the next person is that's telling you something. You're going to be dependent on them to give you fish. And that's the way the system's designed. It's designed to keep you dependent on people giving you a fish. Never designed to teach you how to do your own fishing. This is a book about teaching you how to do your own fishing. Do you want to learn how to do that? I was sick of it. I was like, this sucks. This is a book for slow people. Not really smart people. And if you're too smart, some of you might be too smart for this book. So you have to define what is true wealth, okay? So that gets into this and that foundation. Then what's the formula? Is there a formula? And yes, the answer is yes. There's a formula. There's a mathematical formula. There are mathematical ratios. And if you follow that formula, it's a done deal. There's ratios and there's a mathematical formula to building a fortress balance sheet, to building a balance sheet that can handle this kind of stuff that's going on in the world right now. I don't know what's going to happen to me tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen to you. There's no guarantees. I might do this video, pop this video out tomorrow. I might get coronavirus and die. I might walk out and get hit by a bus. That would suck. If I got hit by a bus before I go bankrupt at the end of this week because you guys freaking kicked ass and made this happen and got a lot of books done through Amazon so that we have to give a ton of money, that would be lame. So you have to pray for me. Make sure I don't get hit by a bus or I don't get coronavirus, at least till the end of this week. Okay? All right, so So we got to define it. I talked about that. So we go through the book and we lay those foundations. We lay those foundations and concepts and principles and the mindsets that it takes to, because it's, what are we doing? We have to deprogram. We have to deprogram and reprogram. And before we can reprogram, we have to identify what are the programs, what's already in there. Have you ever in your life repeated the same patterns over and over again? We all do. I do it still. I'll react. Somebody says something a certain way and I react. And I know it. I'm like, dude, you do the same thing. Have you ever gotten out of debt and gone right back into debt? You ever made a bad business decision? You were so positive it was going to work well, and then when it was done, you said, God, I'm never going to do that again, and then you do it right over again. You do it again after a couple years, or an investment. So this book deals with that. It lays that foundation, and this book addresses one thing that it does, because I dealt with this for years. Man, I remember years ago. One day, I remember the day I said, I'm going to tell you a story right now. One day, this is all the way back, this is almost 20 years ago. We were in a transition state between two businesses. One business was basically winding down, and it was right around 2000 or so. And I was sick of that business, man. I hated it. I just didn't like it, but I was grateful for it. I learned so much from it, and I remember being in church, and they were talking about, hey, we need people help in the nursery and help with this and whatever. And I was feeling so bad and guilty because I wasn't raising my hand. I was like, man, I'm not volunteering for anything. I'm a terrible person. I'm such a terrible Christian, And I was just feeling all really bad because all these good people were volunteering. And I was like, man, I just want to build business. I want to do business stuff, I want to make money. And I remember that day, I remember saying, you know what, God? You made me this way. I don't know why I said this. I have no idea why. I remember sitting there. I was pretty much in tears, basically feeling like, and we had already done really well in business, before that time, we had made money, lost money, made money, lost money. We had businesses that were doing multiple 5-figure monthly incomes, living in nice houses, driving, the whole thing. But we weren't building a balance sheet. We weren't building a fortress balance sheet. We were so everybody looked, oh wow, you're so successful, blah, 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 I have this big story, blah, 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 blah. Wealth is not what you see. True wealth, is not what you show. Most people that are showing and flashing don't really have real wealth. They don't have true wealth. They don't have a freaking solid ass balance sheet. And you can see that with what's going on in this economy right now. A lot of them are folding. A lot of them are freaking, you're going to see a lot of bankruptcies. You're going to see a lot of freaking defaults at both individual levels and big Fortune 500 companies because they over leverage their balance sheet. That's why the Fed right now and the government's throwing out so much money. They give you $1,200 and then they give these Fortune 500 companies that, by the way, freaking got bailouts last time, paid their CEOs millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, right? These companies used 0% interest money from the federal government, basically 0%, while you pay 20% or plus or minus 22 or something like that is the average on your credit card. And you go to the bank and you put money in the bank and they'll give you 0.023% or some crap like that. That's an insult, okay? And meanwhile, these Fortune 500 companies have been getting free money from the Fed. They take that money and they've been doing share buybacks to jack their share prices, and then they've been using their option programs and their shares to pay themselves millions and millions and millions of dollars, all backed by free money from the Federal Reserve and taxpayer bailouts from the last, quote, global financial crisis. Meanwhile, the government sits there and acts like they're helping you and they care about you and they're giving you $1,200. And then this stupid SMB business, small business loan program, you had places like freaking Harvard and these other fake colleges. They are multi-billion-dollar hedge funds and endowment programs masquerading as a university is what they are. And these suckers, right, went in and they applied for small business loan money, and they got money. When you trying to operate your business probably needed it, can't get it, and they said they were out, and then yesterday they passed more money. That's the system, right? This system's going to collapse, by the way, eventually. This system's coming unraveled. It's on its way out, and it's going to be chaos. Do you think it's chaos right now? It ain't even close to what it's going to get. And whether that happens in this cycle or somehow, because of all the bailout money and all the stuff they're doing, somehow they prolong it, the more they keep fixing the problem with more of what causes the problem. More income inequality, more crony capitalism. This is not a free market system that we're in. This is not capitalism. And then you have all these dumbasses out there promoting socialism as the answer. You don't this is crony capitalism. This is not capitalism. Capitalism allows risk. Capitalism rewards risk taking, and the flip side of that equation is that risk takers, if your idea doesn't work, you fail. Not gaming the system because you're an insider and you're an elite and you have the right contacts and you're part of some lobby group and you're too big to fail. And you're gaming the system, and you're getting all the upside, but your downside has no risk because you're getting bailed out by the system. That's not capitalism. That's crony capitalism, and that's the same thing socialism is. It's no different. It looks a little different. It's packaged differently. It's sold differently. Same thing will happen. Right? So, back to the story that I was telling. I have no idea how I got off on that rant. I hope you're okay with my rants. So, I'm sitting there, I'm like, feeling terrible. And, I'm just this terrible person. I don't raise my hand to help and volunteer in the nursery. And, man, I felt like I was gonna go to hell, man. And we had given. We've always given, man. We lived our life, but here I am, man. I'm sitting there and I'm just, because and man, money must be evil. I must be an evil person. I'm a terrible person because I care about business and money. So I was in tears, man. I was like, God. And then I don't know why, I just had this feeling came over me, just had this thing hit me. And I just said this little prayer. I said, God, you made me how I am. And if I'm supposed to be different, if I'm supposed to be motivated by different things, if I'm supposed to care about things differently and not fake it, if I'm a bad person because I like business and I get excited about business and money stuff, and when I'm sitting here and they're asking about people volunteering, I don't get too excited. If I'm an evil person, God, then please change me. And that was the prayer I said. That was 20 years ago. And then a little bit after that, Damien, who's in this book, I tell the story. My first wealth mentor, met him when I was in Hawaii when I was a teenager. I used to get freaking pounded by these Samoans and these big dudes, man, chased and stuff. I was this white kid that, whatever. And so when I was a teenager, actually 12 years old, I started doing martial arts training with Damien, so he was my instructor. But I didn't know at the time. I found out that he was a multimillionaire. And he's in the book. He taught me the very first principle that's in this book. The key to wealth is to get your money working for you instead of you working for your money. I talked about that in one of the prior videos. I can't even remember now. And So it was after that prayer, then I was on I can't remember what it was. I was chatting with him or something like that. He goes, "Hey man, could I?" Oh no, I was in Hawaii. I was visiting family in Hawaii, and he prayed. He prayed, and he prayed a transference of a business anointing, and now I'm just telling you the chain of events. Okay, I'm not okay, but. Between all that, in that time period, I basically just accepted it and just said, hey, this is how I am. So I said that prayer, and then I was like, hey, screw it, man. This is how I am. And I released it. I just put it in the Creator's hands. I just said, if you want to deal with me on it, then just deal with me. And some other things happened. I worked on a direct marketing project with a guy who was just a badass at direct response marketing. And I learned a ton from that project. Started another business when my wife, Danny, was in retirement. She wasn't working, doing events and doing the kind of stuff that she does today. Our kids were little, and I started this other project and, built that up to a 6-figure income in 6 months, which is actually where the title of that, some of you might be familiar with that product that's part of the DannyJohnson.com product line. That's where that title came from for that training program. But what I got out of that, and that company ended up getting it was a health product, a distribution program, but we were selling it through direct response, through direct marketing, and that company ran into some problems, and they had to basically shut down. But the experience that I got out of that, the direct marketing experience, it was a period of transition for me, because prior to that, I had to sell by doing presentations and talking to people and all this kind of thing. And I realized, oh man, I can actually sell by writing words. This is freaking awesome, So anyway, then like a year or two later, we started DannyJohnson.com and blah, blah, blah. But this book, so the story I'm trying to finish here, is that one of the things that this book addresses, and it's in the beginning section on the foundation section, and it's this deal that I am positive at some point in your life you have struggled with. And it is that we, and I talk about this a lot, the Western mind has a hard time, for whatever reason, we see things as either or, black, white. The Eastern mind is very good at knowing that not all things are either or black and white, that a lot of life is actually both and. And so an example of this, a prime example, is money. A lot of people have a really big hang up with money, and it goes one of two ways. If your experience with money has been negative and, it's been a bad experience or whatever, and either personally or just looking at kind of some of the bad stuff that goes on in the world, then you may come from that sort of point of view. And or if you have basically attached your spirituality in some way through some type of religion or something like that to money, and the often misquoted saying of money is the root of all evil. It really says the love of money is the root of all evil, but then that might be your paradigm. You may not actually consciously know it. In your conscious mind, you may be like, oh no, it's all cool, it's all fine. But in your subconscious, that's what's really in control. Is that issue, right? And then on the other side is the ones that just money, and on that side, on the spiritual side of that, is the messaging that says, that's more like a prosperity gospel type message that says, hey man, if you're not prosperous, then you're not really following God's ways and his laws. And that's just as abusive as the other side. The truth of the matter is neither one of those, well, there's some truth to both of those. Again, it's a both and, not an either or. So you can't just take one and throw it out, or just say, you can't just take one thing and just say that is 100% true, or that is 100% not true. And so the very beginning of this book deals with that. It deals with the issue of what is the proper place of money, right? And when I say money, you need to understand that money is just a placeholder. It's in programming terms, we call that a variable. Money is a label in our brain, in our programming of the mind, and what it actually represents is resources, okay? Your life, from the day you were born to the day you die, will be about two things, and two things only: relationships and resources, or money. Those are the two buckets that you can. I challenge you to look at your life and to think of anything. Do this throughout the day. You can journal this, whatever. Think about your day, and as every thought that comes up, every problem that comes up, every decision that comes up, everything that comes up, in one way or another, it's going to fall into one or two of those two buckets. You will not find a single situation in life that doesn't fall into one or two of those buckets. And you say, oh no, Hans, that's wrong. There's this other thing that I do. I give, and that has nothing to do with relationship. Yeah, it does. Shut up, man. You're total FOS. I volunteer and do charity work. Well, that's you. That's relationships. So I'm just saying, like, if you challenge yourself, I seriously, go through, make a list, think about it. You'll find it's going to fall into one or two of those buckets. It's okay. Ain't no big deal. But how are you going to live a good life, okay, if you have internal conflict about one of the major buckets in your life? Answer that question for me. I know this young guy, awesome young kid, young man, and we were talking the other day, just yesterday, and he goes, man, I just wish, this was his statement, he said, I just wish that the world wasn't about money all the time. I just wish that wasn't an issue. And I said, Colton, I hear you what you're saying, but let me help you. Replace the word money with resources. Food, clothing, shelter, transportation. On the other end, entertainment, right? Travel. Go down the list. Protection, security. You go down the list. And So yeah, I get it. You can take money out. It ain't gonna change anything. It's never not been there. There's always been some kind of, and this is what I told him. I said, hey Colton, man, it don't matter if it's a freaking dollar bill or if it's a damn seashell, or if it's you going out and going out into the wilderness and bringing back a bunch of fur hides and stuff, and then you're gonna go back to the village and you're gonna take some of that fur and you're gonna make some teepees and some clothing, and then you're gonna do some trading, and there's a different village next door that got a bunch of fish, so they're gonna get some of your fur and you're gonna give them some fish. It's the same thing. It ain't no different. It's the same thing. It's never not been there. It's never gonna not be there. So how are you going to? From this day to the rest of your life, this is going to be an issue. And how are you going to live out your calling in your life, which is to go forth, to take dominion, go forth and multiply. Take dominion. How are you going to take dominion in your life if you don't have peace and understanding about this issue? If you have internal conflict in some way, shape, or form about the money issue? When you have some screwed up, backwards programming idea that's embedded in your software about money, about wealth, about success. And it can be on one side or the other. So we deal with that in this book. We dig that freaking grave out. We get out those picks and shovels and that freaking bulldozer, man. And we throw dynamite in that MFer. We blast that up, and we hack that up. We go through that and we deal with that because it ain't gonna make no difference. I could tell you the biggest investing secrets in the world, the biggest money management secrets in the world. I could give you the ratios, the formulas. I could give you every single thing. And if we don't deal with that issue first, and we don't deal with the underlying software, and to deal with the software, to set the foundation, you can't build a foundation on soft ground. You have to dig that soil up and bust up that old foundation and freaking go to town and hack that down to bedrock. And once we get to bedrock, then we can build a new foundation. And on top of that foundation, we can build systems. We can build strategy. We can build warfare. We can build game plan. We can give action items. We can give step-by-step tactics. So from there, we lay that foundation. We talk about the structure that we're building, right? How to find peace between money and happiness, how to find that balance, how to make peace with it. I don't care what you use the money for. Here's what I care about. I care that you and your family never again in your family line, to the extent that you have capacity. Nobody has a guarantee. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to step outside right now and get hit by a bus. I hope I don't, because I really want to go bankrupt by the end of this week, and I need your help to do it. Amazon.com, TrueWealthFormula.com, and then we'll do the giving. I'll do the giving to King's Ransom. I need your help. Okay? But there's no guarantees. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. We got to cut this off. It's going too long. I have no idea what's going to happen. But to the extent you have capacity, to the extent you have free will, to the extent you have healthy mind, body, and spirit, you know what I care about? I care about that from this day forward, you and your family, to the extent you want to, that you have desire, that you can get real with your own desires and you can own it. To the extent you want to extract yourself from this global debt slave system, that you want to opt out of this system, that you want to extract yourself from as a debt slave. Do you think you can do something in your bank account that you can't do first here? You think if somebody gave you $10,000 or $100,000 or $1 million, you have to know, you have to deal with this first. You have to learn this first. Then you can do something productive with that capital. I don't care what you do with the money. You can give it all away. You can take your money right now and you can go to Amazon.com and you can bankrupt me. You can put your money, I'm putting my money where your mouth is. You can put your mouth in, get this book out there in the marketplace. Okay? So what I care about is that you and your family, to the extent that you have capacity and the extent that you are able to, that you never again, that you extract yourself out of this system and you never again. You think this is going to be the last financial crisis? You think this is going to be the last problem that happens? You think this is going to be the last time the system's going to do what it does? I don't want you to ever again. I want this to be the last time. The last freaking time, right? How do you think this world's going to change? You think this world's going to change by being ignorant about money, about who we are, about how we were created? I hear these people all the time. The wealth of the righteous is going to be transferred. The wealth of the wicked going to be transferred to the righteous. Yeah, well, did you ever ask yourself who the wicked and the righteous are? It might be a different definition than you think it is, because if you're not wealthy, then maybe you're not in the bucket you think you are. Maybe our modern day corporate church system doesn't have the answer like they think they do. I don't want you ever again to be a slave to this system. I'm not telling you what to do with the money. I don't care if you ever make $1 million or not. What I'm talking about is to own. Nobody will do for you what you're not willing to do for yourself. To have the answers. You can still sit down with advisors and smart people. I'm talking about you not being the victim. I'm talking about you being able to be prepared ahead of time for when this kind of stuff hits the fan, because it's never not hit the fan. There's never been a time in human history that this kind of stuff doesn't happen. It's part of the cycle. It's how it works. It's how it does what it does, right? So, Amazon.com. I appreciate all you guys for pushing it the way you have. Get it out there. Get some of our posts. Pass it along. I'm not sweating yet, guys, at all. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the stats are. But basically at this point, I could be bankrupt already and I wouldn't know it. is possible. You know, at least it'll be for a good cause. You know, these people go bankrupt all the time. There's a bunch of people going bankrupt. There's billionaires going bankrupt right now in this market because they're over leveraged and all this kind of stuff. Our governments are bankrupt. They're just printing money. There's a reason why they can do that, by the way, right? You know, there's people that go bankrupt because they overspend, overconsume, too much debt, all kinds of reasons. If I'm going to go bankrupt, I'm going to do it for a good cause. I need your help to do it. I cannot do this alone, okay? Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you know how hard? I hate asking for help. I'm not that kind of person. I don't like asking for help. I need your help. I cannot go bankrupt by myself. I need your help. You need to go to Amazon.com and get this book, 2 Formula, How to Master Money, Live Free, and Build a Legacy for you and your family. You need to get as many copies as you can. The shipping is delayed because of freaking crazy Corona. All right, but get as many copies ordered as you can. Get your digital version, your Kindle version, which you can start reading right away. This book is easy to read. You can read it quick, right? It's formatted. It's formatted in a way, despite these really smart people who said, you can't format a book like that. I said, hell no, watch me. Watch my ass. I'm going to format this book. I ain't making no book that freaking run on paragraphs that go forever. I read a page. I can't even remember what the hell I just read, you know? Okay, you can read this book. You can get the Kindle version. You can do your review on Amazon. Okay, and you order the extra version. You get the extras, and you get that message out to your lists, social medias, whatever, podcasts, whatever way you can. Talk to people that you know. Let them know. Maybe you know some business people or successful people. Say there is this crazy ass dude who wrote this book. He's got this crazy beard. He doesn't talk right. He drops words he shouldn't say and he right, and he's trying to go bankrupt. You know, just tell these guys there's some heavy hitters out there. They could kill me in an instant right now. Come on, this is your chance. Do it. Okay, Amazon.com. Register at 2lformula.com. Help me go bankrupt. I'm gonna go bankrupt. Giving and helping victims of sex trafficking, no matter how bad you have it right now during crazy Corona, there's somebody that has it worse. And you will help yourself by helping others. Help yourself, get this book. Never again be a victim to the stuff that's going on right now. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had fun with me. I appreciate you guys getting on here live. I'll be on here again tomorrow at 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. Central Time. I hope you can figure out what time zone that is for yourself. And I might sometimes I'm putting off some spontaneous videos in the morning or whatever. I did one this morning. You can check that one out, updates. I hope we get stats, man. It might already happen, but today's Wednesday. We got a couple more days left on this thing, guys. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you to everybody who already ordered. You guys are amazing. Thank you for your reviews. Super humbled by the reviews. Totally looked at this and freaking out like, wow, that's crazy, you know. But I'm gonna be bummed, man. God, can we at least get it to 100,000? Come on, let me give some money away. All right, see you guys. Bye.